chest day. This is chest day.
If I were to guess, I'd say this man is having a manic episode.
She asked me about my condition. I am the condition.
But not everybody knows how to deal with that. This is a large gentleman built like Debo.
Oh, you want something too, old man? Huh?
No. He reminds me of an exact patient that I had to be on a one-to-one with, which means I, as a staff member in the psych ward, have to sit with this patient one-on-one all day because they are a threat to themselves or others. But I want to talk to y'all about how to handle situations like this.
Hey, we are living in a psych ward. I'm quite sure this is psych ward. I'm quite sure.
Whether you are out in public or for my people that are working in the psych wards or for my people interested in working in the psych wards, you have to share the unit with patients that are big, buff, and can crush you with their hands. Now, not every psych unit is a high acuity psychiatric facility. That means not every unit has the highest level of danger when it comes to patients. Some units specifically avoid patients that could be violent or have a violent history or more aggressive disorders, and they'll send them to others. I worked at a facility where we would be the one that everybody sends their bad patients to, quote unquote. Now, you take a gentleman like this at the gym, he probably works out faithfully every day. He is built like what people would say is real manhood, not going for the aesthetics of being chiseled and beach body ready, but functional jailhouse muscle. This is the type of patient that you don't want to get into posturing battles with, power struggles, or let them wreak havoc by exerting their force and scaring everyone on the unit. I've been a part of all types of situations where a patient was violent and staff had the wrong response or no response. Number one, while somebody is having a manic episode, they might already feel like they are Superman. They might feel like there's nothing that they can do wrong. They will have grandiose thoughts, often being able to go without sleep for extended periods of time. This is like superhuman ability strength, guys. And a lot of times people cannot be reasoned with, and they are paranoid of individuals trying to stop them, come against them, or put a lid on anything that they have going on. Hence, in this video, this gentleman was in the gym, cleared the whole thing out. You hear he is in there by himself. His voice is echoing off the walls. He said, "They asking me to leave." Yeah, they was asking you to leave. Yes, asking, not telling. And unfortunately, this is a situation where the police would need to get involved. And hopefully everybody got out safe, including the gentleman in question in this video.
They told me it was too heavy. Huh? I said put it all on there.
Now, once upon a time when I was in the psych ward, I had to be on a one-to-one with a patient who had just got done with a 17-year bid. And they didn't want to release him to the public, so they released him to our psych ward. Now, having had been released from prison straight into the psych ward, it wasn't the real world, but it was still a lot of culture shock to him. He was increasingly paranoid, and I really don't think that was a good idea based on the staff that we had, and we didn't even have security. We were the security for that facility. After making threats to patients and to staff members, smacking the desk with reckless abandon, I got in on the shift and they said, "Jay, you're up. We don't have any staff to be with him. Try not to get hurt and try not to let him hurt anybody over the next 8 hours." Now, at that point, I was about $175. This dude is towering over me by at least 3-4 inches. I'm 6 feet. He's about 250, 260, and yeah, jailhouse body for sure. But I knew I had to have a good game face, but I couldn't pretend or act like I'm tough or something like that. But you can't be passive either. So I had to have true confidence in myself, relying on my training and also my own survival skills. They called me the patient whisperer for a reason, but this guy was really about to make me earn that. So immediately I introduced myself. I let him know that I'll be with him today. And instead of saying I'll be with him on a one-to-one or something that sounds intrusive or limiting, I'll say I'll be helping you out with anything today. So if you need any snacks, if you need any supplies, just let me know. And he was like, "Oh, okay." He just looked me up and down. I offered help. It wasn't nothing limiting. Now, when you're on a one-to-one with the patient, you have to be within arm's length. And so for the life of me, until I figured out how exactly I was gonna be around this gentleman without alarming him and being in that close proximity, I created a buffer between me and him, like grabbing a clipboard and taking some notes, looking around the building to act like that I was inspecting things. All the while, I'm making passive conversation with him because he liked working out, just like this gentleman. And I heard that he was doing push-ups in his room. It could be heard. So I asked him, I said, "Did you do push-ups already?" And he was just like, "Yeah, but I got another set. Why? What's up?" And I was like, "Oh no, I was just wondering. I like doing push-ups too." He's like, "Oh, for sure. You want to bang out this next set with me?" Boom, that's an end right there for me to get in with that patient and to build some type of rapport and camaraderie. The only problem was he was doing sets of 50. Now I like to stay in shape myself, but 50 push-ups is crazy. But I banged it out with him. He was counting them out, making sure I did them, and I enjoyed the challenge. It didn't bother me none. He was like, cool, we got 5 more of those. But I kid y'all not. After those sets of push-ups, me and him were locked in. After that, we were playing cards. He was teaching me spades. He was giving me some stories about when he was locked up. And there were no violent outbursts for the whole day. The staff would come and check on me in the room because he would close the door. Now, typically, this is not advised. When you're in the psych ward with the patient on a one-to-one, it's not advisable that you're ever in their room with the door closed because there's no cameras in the room. And if they say anything happened, you are liable. But because the amount of danger that existed in this facility, there were certain things such as this that were overlooked and honestly probably made the difference between a patient really harming somebody or not. Because while I was in his room, number one, I was the first one able to get to the exit door. So don't ever allow the patient be between you and the place of exit. Never. So that was number one. Number two, I had a walkie-talkie on me where I could notify staff of anything that was going down if I had any emergency situations. But staff would come down and check on me periodically every 15 minutes according to the round cycle, making sure I wasn't dead. So while somebody's manic and they're able to use their manly testosterone to take you down if they wanted to at a drop of a dime, it's important that you subtly gain control of the situation without it being by force and without allowing that patient to harm others in the process. So he's contained in his room. He's able to exert some of that energy doing push-ups. We're playing cards, making conversation. He knows that I'm here to assist him and I'm grabbing him snacks. We're doing laps and walking and I'm keeping him busy and occupied, offering groups, laughing at his jokes, really actually being invested in this individual. I was interested in his life, and because I was on a one-to-one with him, I still had to chart on him, take notes. So all of the intel I was gathering really helped me to be able to make proper reports and to do my job. Not many people can work in the psych ward because when it comes down to it, patients of all shapes and sizes, you have to be ready to go hands-on if things do go that route. Now, with that type of patient, I'm not no tough guy, and if we did go hands-on, my head would be off. Typically, you would only have to go hands-on when somebody is hurting someone and you have to exert emergency force. But outside of that, I'm always trying to talk and be proactive. A patient like that, you might want to actually give them some medicine to calm them down. Now, not everybody agrees with chemical restraints, but it's like one of those things that comes with the territory. Like, for example, we want to have cars for transportation. However, they do give off emissions and cause pollution in our atmosphere. Now, we can't help that, but we do have to transport ourselves around. So until we find out a way to have cleaner energy, which we have in different ways, you got to deal with the kinks that come with the solutions. So the chemical restraints where you're able to give a patient some form of downer to relax them, to bring them down, that's going to make everybody a lot safer, including that patient for getting themselves into maybe unpredictable violent behavior. So the way I would suggest that is, hey, if you're getting ready to have a nap and you're trying to get some sleep, let me know and we can go see the nurse. I didn't say if you don't stop, you're going to get an injection. I didn't say, hey, the doctor wants you to behave this way in order for you to avoid getting an injection. No. Don't make it negative. Make it either neutral positive or positive altogether. It has to be undetectable. It has to come through the lens of help, and you can't sound scared or that you're trying to push something on them. I was really good at doing that. And he said, well, no, I'm not trying to nap right now. I'm trying to get my push-ups done. Great. If the patient is exerting themselves physically and doing some form of exercise, that is an excellent way to ventilate, which is why I often ask patients that were agitated if they would like to walk and talk, or go to the courtyard and get some fresh air. These are all things that can help somebody to be able to reach a calmer state. But you gotta be calm in and of yourself to take control of the situation. So let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. What would you do if you was in a room with a gentleman like that? Would you know how to do what you know how to do to make sure that you get out safely and that gentleman is treated with respect and proper patient care and protocol? Let me know in the comment section, and make sure you pick up Jay's Psych Ward Survival Guide, where I take my 7+ years of experience and tell you as a patient or potential patient what you need to know when you go into the psych ward, so that when you go, you're not triggered and traumatized by the system that makes money off of you and loves if you don't know what it's doing or what to do. But if you are in the unfortunate circumstance where you do need to go to the psych ward, sometimes it's life or death. Sometimes there are solutions that you can grab from the psych ward 100%. But it's best if you go in knowing how the system works and knowing what you need from it so that you don't end up in any pitfalls. Otherwise, you'll have a disgruntled experience and you might be worse off. So you need to pick up Jay's Psych Ward Survival Guide and read all of the tips, tools, and tricks that I have in there so that you can make sure you have a good time and know your rights and come out better. Additionally, I'm working on a Psych Worker Survival Guide where I'm showing you workers that are currently in the ward how to make sure that you are in the best position to be a positive resource for these patients, how to advocate, especially when you're working in a system that sometimes works against patient needs. I did that for years and I felt very corrupt and conflicted, but I was able to navigate the system and circumvent it by helping patients to navigate it with my level of care and advocacy toward them. That'll be coming out real soon. I'm also working on a community called the Psych Ward Survival Club, and it is almost ready. We'll be able to get together off platform, have some live Q&A sessions, share our wins, share our struggles, but just have a community of psych ward survivors or just people that are struggling mentally or and they want to share the success stories like some of the ones that you've heard me talk about. I think it's so important to have a dedicated, protected space for people that don't have nobody to share it with. So more on that soon. That'll be coming. I'm also almost done with the merch that I've been working on for y'all. Here's some pictures of that. Like, follow, subscribe, all that. Love y'all. See you in the next video.